If my sleep isn't quality, I'm gonna have to match that with my training intensity, because if I train too hard, too often, it's gonna put me in such a deep hole that I have to like climb out of that's not even worth it.
All these things take tremendous amounts of time to build up the appropriate strength, appropriate fitness levels, and it's going to be a lifelong pursuit. I think it's important to not stress so much about one workout.
But also having a coach or somebody that can tell you, if you're stubborn like myself, to pull back on certain days and just go into the gym with a different intention and not kill yourself.
There's also Dante Trudell, who talks about dog crap training. There's a lot of people that use like drop sets. There's a lot of people that go to failure. Yep. And the higher your intensity, the shorter your training session can be.
Right.
And vice versa. And then also for someone like you or me, we work out so frequently that occasionally if a workout is even only 15 minutes or we only do one body part, maybe we just come in the gym, and sometimes I know you do this, you just do like calves and neck.
Yep.
And maybe some crunches and you're out.
Yeah.
I think some people would think that that's like a failed training session, but not every training session needs to be this like golden hour of fitness.
Right. No, yeah, I think I used to be that way. I used to stress and get anxiety and almost leave the gym completely if I couldn't get the set 1 to 2 hours of training. Felt like it didn't count, but the more I started listening to other people and
feel worse, even like you feel worse than if you didn't even go at all almost.
Yeah. And some of those workouts I feel help my recovery almost speed up, because I'm just moving some blood. I might not even go to failure. I might just go in there and get a nice pump, like we were talking about how Joe Sullivan has those creatine workouts. I might just go in the gym and get a pump and just feel good if I'm short on time. Or I might turn it up a little bit and take like 2-3 exercises to failure and just do 3 total sets and leave the gym.
Yeah, Joe Sullivan, Jake Benson, and Go Superbrain. Those guys all talk about creatine workouts, and a creatine workout, the big difference between that and a regular bodybuilding workout is that you just don't go to failure.
Yeah.
And the reason why they stress that is just for recovery purposes. So you do get a pump, but you don't go to like total failure.
Ooh.
But you know, your training frequency can be in relation to your intensity. If you want to train a lot, I mean, that's what I do. I train often, but I don't train really, really crazy hard. Maybe twice a week, I would say. Well, how about for you? Like I know that you're different because you're young and you're like in the middle of trying to build out your bodybuilding career, but like legitimately, how hard or how many great hard workouts do you have in a week normally?
Man, I try. Well,
I'm gonna guess that I'm gonna guess that you'd be around 2.
Yeah.
Or 3, right? Like
say,
legitimately, right?
Yeah, that's my...
You're trying to have all of them be amazing, but...
Yeah, but no, you can't. It's hard. It's really hard to do that, especially when my sleep's not in check. It almost doesn't make sense. I almost have to match, like, you know, if my sleep isn't quality, I'm gonna have to match that with my training intensity, because if I train too hard, too often, like I talked about with Joe Sullivan, it's gonna put me in such a deep hole that I have to like climb out of that's not even worth it. So I might as well do a couple hard workouts, and then, you know, the rest of the week maybe just go shy of failure, or just kind of do more high volume type stuff.
Try maybe a drop set on this one. Maybe try 30.
Okay. Oh. Here we go. Yep.
I think another thing to kind of think about is not to put so much emphasis on any one workout. Like if you're going to exercise a lot, I mean, just in general, if you're bodybuilding, if you're doing CrossFit, you're doing weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, all these things take tremendous amounts of time to build up the appropriate strength, the appropriate fitness levels, the appropriate hypertrophy. And it's going to be a lifelong pursuit to get the body that you want, to get the physique that you want, to get the strength that you want. And so keeping all that in mind, I think it's important to not stress so much about one workout. We want all the workouts to be awesome. You could. There are people that, Kenny and I like high frequency, but we also like high volume and high intensity. We like all three, but what we're trying to explain to you today is that has to be toggled a lot. And there's a lot of give and take. So if you blow it out big time and you have a huge training session, a really great back session, maybe the next day you somehow muster up the strength to have a crazy leg workout. Well, the next 2 days might be kind of compromised. And so you have a decision to make. You can either think about that ahead of time and pull back on some of the training that you do on those 2 days that you had those good workouts, or you can just recognize that if you trained really hard on Friday and Saturday, that Sunday and Monday are going to be compromised a bit. Maybe you need to take the day off from training completely, or maybe you need to go in and do like a recovery workout.
Yeah, I think that comes with time, figuring that
Maturity,
out for yourself.
right?
Yeah, because that's the problem I've been running into is I haven't been on a program at all. I just kind of go off a feel, but
do you always do that?
For the most part,
pretty much.
aside from powerlifting, I've tried like dog crap training and stuff, but I don't know. I have ADHD. I always just change shit, so I'll just go off a feel. But talking to Joe, he recommended that I have some type of structure so I can look
outline.
at it. Yeah, so I can really track progress, and I reassure myself that I'm making progress in the gym and not getting injured. I think having those days where you don't train to failure and you don't go super, super heavy will prevent injury.
Let's maybe talk about like maybe bringing up a lagging body part. So that where it would, obviously you can make a case to where it would be important to track everything, but again, sometimes you just don't want to. Sometimes it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But like if you're trying to bring up like your chest, let's say, well, maybe it's a good idea to track it and to do a similar exercise most weeks so that you can pay attention to, am I actually making progress on this? And an example might be barbell bench press, and you're trying to, or barbell incline bench press, and you're trying to bench with the elbows out. And then week 1, you notice that you handle, 275 for a handful of reps. And you're like, all right, well, I want to, maybe the person that does 275 for a few reps, maybe they can handle around 400 pounds or 405 on a flat bench. And there's a good discrepancy between their incline bench and their flat bench. Well, it might be a good idea to track that, bring the strength of that up, and see if you get rewarded from it, see if you get a little hypertrophy from that, from the chest muscles.
Yeah, definitely. My arms are a weak point, so I'm kind of new to all this. I usually, like I said, just go off feel like Mark kind of does. But with bodybuilding, I think having a good, solid, structured program to some degree is going to really help. But also having a coach or somebody that can tell you, if you're stubborn like myself, to pull back on certain days and just go into the gym with a different intention and not kill yourself. Just try to, move blood around, focus on technique. I think that's important too.
I would say it seems to be pretty common amongst bodybuilders. A lot of bodybuilders do not really have much of a program.
Yeah.
Do you kind of see that too, or no?
Yeah, I see some, I see some guys do it, but then
I mean, they might have a split, right? But maybe not like a program, detailed program.
Yeah, I do see a decent amount of guys going off feel, but I also know Joe Sullivan basically said, if you want to be a good bodybuilder, you need to fucking get on the program. So there has to be some people doing programs.
Get a routine.
Yeah.
Well, Ronnie Coleman said he did the same workout for 30 years.
Exactly.
He did the same back workout for like 30 years.
Yeah, and I get that. Hold on. Yeah, I get that approach too. Just like Mike Israetel, full ROM guys, they stick to the same core movements and progress them and run them to the ground until they can't
And then they
progress
switch
them anymore. I do think that's very a good approach, but I also, again, get bored in the gym, and the gym is my happy place. So if I don't want to do 6 weeks of close grip bench press, I'm not gonna do it. I'll switch it up. I'll do something else. I'll do a rolling dumbbell extension or something that brings me joy, because I'll get bored and I'll just check out.
What if someone was to tell you that you only do, like what if someone was to tell you they really believe in their heart that you would get the best progress, you would be the best bodybuilder by only training twice a week?
Twice a week?
Would you be able to do it?
Well, do I know that, am I taking a risk, or is it like proven that this is going to be the key?
Well, it seems like some of that kind of training works pretty good for some people. I do think that, you know, for example, Tom Platz said he only trained his legs like twice a month.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's doing other workouts in between. But I think it takes a certain amount of, like people always talk about the championship mindset of being able to push really hard.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a championship mindset of being able to pull back. And I think a lot of people don't have the guts and don't have they have too much angst almost to pull back and believe in something that's going to work that well that way.
Yeah, I think.
Like I know for me,
my
answer would be like, my answer would be, if someone really believed that's what I needed to be great, I would at least try it.
Yeah, I would for sure try it. I don't think it'd be my favorite, because what the hell am I going to do with my life the rest of the week? But if Joe came to me and said, look, this is what it's going to take to be a pro, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
But I'll probably still sneak a little something extra in there, because I don't think I can.
Well, I think good coaches recognize that though too. You know, if you program for somebody, you have to realize, like, I think two things. And those two things would be, there's a lot of people out there that are going to sneak in more stuff, and there's a lot of people that are going to do less stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed for myself when I used to help people, it seemed like for the most part, a lot of the guys, they would skip some of the recommendations that I had for like accessory work and stuff like that. But the girls, they followed everything. They wrote everything down. They tracked everything. Like they were way into it. But the dudes, they were a little sloppier with it. Or they'd be like, oh, I switched out the front raises for a machine press. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's in there. I have a front raise in there for a very specific reason, because your bench sucks. I'm trying to build up like your, you know, this part of your delt. And they're like, oh, I just thought it was okay to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's in there for a reason.
Yeah. No, I think that is important. Getting a coach that, or somebody that understands you. Because Joe knows I'm not going to be able to do twice a week workouts. It's just, I can't do it.
Yeah, I think, you know, you were mentioning sleep earlier. And I do think a really good idea or good thing to kind of wrap around your brain, or wrap your brain around, is the idea that if your sleep starts to fall apart, your training somewhere along the lines probably went, your energy output was probably pretty crazy on particular days.
Yeah.
And it might be fucking you over in your sleep. It's hard to sleep when you're uncomfortable. Like if your legs are really sore or your back's really tight and all those different things, it makes it very challenging.
Sorry to interrupt this podcast. Just giving a little announcement that you guys need to be training your neck. I use the strong neck. You could do side, forward, back. It completes the physique. Nobody wants big muscles with a pencil neck, you know, especially if you get punched in the face. Look at all the fighters. They have thick necks. There's got to be a correlation there. So go over to strongneck.com and use code Anabolic to save some money. Back to the program. Yeah, also, that leads me into getting into that cycle where you're not listening to your body, or you don't have a coach that's like, let's do 2 hard-ass days of training. The rest, let's put our focus into something else that don't go that hard. I think that's the cycle I'm in right now. It's vicious. I'll force my body, even if I'm tired, even if I feel fatigued, and I know I probably shouldn't do it. I'll take some stims and some kratom, and I'll push through it, and then it just puts me deeper into a hole, and then I can't sleep. My appetite sucks. My metabolism is shittier. So I think that's what I'm learning currently, is you don't need to kill yourself every single time you're in the gym, but still train with intensity. That doesn't mean you need to try to just wreck yourself and barely walk out of the gym every session.
Everybody knows the guy at the gym that he starts walking your way, and you're in between sets, and you're like, oh, great. This guy's going to talk to me forever.
Yeah.
It's the old guy that takes 10 minutes in between sets. But those old guys in the gym, they know a lot of stuff. They know how to train without hurting themselves. They know to avoid particular movements versus other movements. And I think for young people, I think it's important to find out those things as well. I know for myself, almost impossible for me to get hurt with a machine, almost impossible for me to get hurt with cables. Most likelihood of getting hurt is to try a big attempt with some sort of barbell movement. And that's always been the case, even when I was younger. The bench press, the heavy deadlift, the heavy squat, those always had the greatest cost to them. Now, they also have a lot of benefit and reward to them, so I'm not saying not to do them by any means, but it's just something to think about. Another thing to think about is how long is something going to take you to get into? Let's say you go to the gym and you're in a commercial gym, the incline bench is all the way on the other side of the gym. That's what you kind of had your heart set on doing. But if the setup for that is just going to take a long time and it's going to frustrate you and kind of throw you off your mood and maybe you're a little short on time, just go for the machine.
Yeah.
Find a machine, or maybe activate some of the muscles and work out a little bit backwards for that day. Do some, maybe do some like pec flies or some cable crossovers, and then find an incline machine and get on that. What I'm trying to really illustrate in today's conversation is that hopefully you're in it for the long haul. Like it's not like you work out for 3 years and then you're like, I'm good, I got some muscle on me, and then you just stay this way forever.
Yeah.
You are in it for the long haul. So the particular workouts that you have, it's not going to matter so much that you don't have that detailed incline barbell bench for that particular day. Like, really just don't sweat it. Make sure you bring a good intensity, and make sure you do something to induce whatever the goal is. I think it's important to go into the gym with an intent. You want an intent for the day. And in most people's case, I think it's hypertrophy. For some people it might be strength, but for a lot of people it's hypertrophy. So how are you going to induce hypertrophy? Do you need a barbell exercise to induce hypertrophy? The answer is no. Do you need a machine to do that? The answer is no. Do you need cables to do that? The answer is no. But you do need something. So pick something, and then we know from literature and we know from just our own training that you need how many sets and how many exercises approximately for a decent workout.
Oh, that's a question.
Mm-hmm. How many sets per muscle group, and maybe how many exercises? Like, what's the lowest amount and what's the kind of the higher end, you think?
Oh man, I would say maybe like 3. I would argue even 2, depending on what you're working with.
2 good sets for someone that understands how to put good energy.
If you're
in
doing
them.
like, let's say you're doing rear delts and triceps, I think you could do 2 exercises for sure on rear delts, and an extension, and maybe some type of overhead, like compoundish movement, like something with the dumbbell or skull crushers, something like that. I think you could get in and out of the gym. So I'd say 2, if the intensity's there, though.
So 2 sets and maybe just 2 exercises.
Yeah. I mean, look at Dorian Yates.
I think there's a lot of data to back you up. I think Andy Galpin, who's like one of the #1 muscle researchers in the world, he would have data to back that up. I think it's true.
I don't even know any of that data.
No, neither do I.
No idea what
Neither do I. I'm found out to be right later on usually.
Yeah, that's what I feel. So, but the intensity is important, and that intent you were talking about, that can always change. Like, I remember when I was powerlifting, there'd be days where I work late, and then by the time I get to the gym, or I have to work out at home or at a commercial gym, and my focus is getting stronger. So let's say I was trying to flat bench, and I needed to do like a 5x5 or something. If for some reason the gym's closing in 30-40 minutes and I can't get a flat bench, everybody's on it, I just change the whole intent and be like, okay, I might not be able to get this bench pressing in, but I'll just focus on hypertrophy, and I'll focus on working the chest, the front delts, the back a little bit, because I know even if I can't hit that bench, I'm going to work the same muscles that will progress me on that movement. So it still adds up and counts.
I just switched to doing a little bit of front raising. That's feeling pretty good. Maybe do some
laterals.
These guys, people hate this exercise.
Hey, Mike Iserto likes that one with the cable.
Yeah. Upright row. Forgotten elements. I think another thing for people to keep in mind is you end up developing some pretty good gut instincts over the years. And I don't think you should ever shut your mind off to particular exercises and stuff. But if you've done something, let's say you've done like a bent over row, you keep hearing time and time again what a great exercise a bent over row is.
Yeah.
But every time you go to do the exercise, you get hurt. Please just find an alternative. Maybe learn the exercise, maybe have someone show you, maybe wear a belt, but you don't need that exercise necessarily. Yeah. You don't need to have good quads. You don't need to necessarily do a traditional barbell back squat. There's other versions of squats. There's, safety squat bar. There's front squats. There's squats off a slant board. There's a lot of kettlebell work. There's so many different things you can do that would still train the shit out of your legs. I would say that you don't even need any form of squat, which some people will be like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm not saying that's a great way to build your legs. I'm just saying, like, if for some reason a squat really bothers you, you don't necessarily need it. You see people do it all the time with the bench, right? It's okay to cut out the bench, but it's not okay to cut out the squat. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So don't be shy about nixing exercises when they hurt. I would also urge you to like research it a little bit more and try to find out, like, am I actually doing this right? And try to learn from a reputable coach, because sometimes those exercises can be really valuable to you.
Excited to announce that we dropped the Anabolic template. It is a program, bodybuilding / power building to a certain degree. It's a lot of volume. It's a lot of top sets. It's not for the weak, but it is going to get you jacked, and it is going to make you a lot more strong. So go over to anabolicactivities.com or go to our Instagram at anabolicactivities and click the link in our bio. Now back to the program. Yeah, I think most people that have an issue with not squatting, even if it's causing issues, is just like we talked about in an earlier episode. Go check it out. Is their ego? They're just attached, emotionally attached to squatting heavy or doing whatever they do.
Go heavy or go home, bro.
Yeah. But I think with anything, any movement, like even if I remember powerlifting, barbell rows didn't really serve me any benefit, but the goal was to thicken my erectors. But I'm like, T-bar rows can do that and build I get a better connection with my back. Rack pulls can do that. So any exercise, whatever muscle it's hitting, there's always another option. So biceps and calves, same time. Yeah.
I would say if you're new to training, take your time with it. It's okay to come in the gym. Like, I'm giving you permission to have low intensity. I'm giving you permission right now to be a little bit of a pussy. You see it a lot in youth sports, in baseball particularly. A kid has a small little batter's box they're supposed to stand in with some kid who pitches some wild ass pitches. The kid can't even get the ball across the plate.
Yeah.
And we're expecting our young guys to get in there and to like really be ready to smash a home run when, the batter's box here, and they're kind of like this, and they're really nervous. So don't worry about if you're nervous or shy in the gym. Take your time. The exercises that feel the most comfortable to you and for you, do those. Don't worry too much about the exercises that are foreign, or if you feel really weird about, doing some like wide squats, like with a dumbbell, because you're not sure of the form, or you just feel like you're going to look awkward and people are going to make fun of you. I would say go to the gym, get some exercise in, use the machines. Don't worry if it's going to take you some time, because I've seen so many people. I know for myself, I had the opportunity and the ability to train in my own garage where there was no one watching and no one looking. So I could mess around, I could screw around, it wasn't a big deal. But I've seen a lot of people in here over the years at Super Training kind of be real shy, not ask many questions, be kind of timid, kind of stick to themselves, and then over time they start to get a little stronger. They start to make improvements. Their body starts to look a little bit better. Next thing you know, now they're asking questions, and now they're kind of more part of the team. And now they are learning how to do, you know, lunges on the turf and squats and all these different movements.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's a hard thing to get into.
Yeah, that was me for a long time. I also started training in my garage. When I first started working out,
That's a huge advantage for us, because then you got a little barrier or a little experience.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff like that before I went into a commercial gym, just watching YouTube videos and really practicing technique, because I was very, very insecure about
shy and stuff.
I wasn't confident, but once you break through that and you gain a little bit of confidence, you kind of, you know.
You have friends that probably tell you all the time, like, oh, I want to go to super training, but I'm waiting until I get a little stronger.
Oh my, that's every friend, even clients.
You're like, please, oh, come in now.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I want to go to your gym so bad, but everybody's so big there and I feel out of place. I'm like, listen, that's not the case. That's not the case. Just come to the gym and I will be more than happy to help where I can. But everybody else here is gonna have, you know, gonna help you a lot more. But that's how I used to be. I came here, didn't ask any questions, was scared, a lot of anxiety, but you just gotta break through that, and you're good.
That's what this stuff will do for you. It will help you a lot with your confidence. I think that's why most of us found it in the first place.
Oh yeah.
We weren't confident or we're insecure. You know, my case was like I had 2 dickhead older brothers that were just pieces of shit all the time. So I had to figure out a way to kind of keep up with them. Well, my brother Chris actually just kind of showed me how to lift, but they're both always making fun of me for everything. Holy shit, my shoulders are burning.
Oh yeah.
So even this workout that we're doing here, this isn't the most ideal workout, but we're still getting a lot of benefit from this workout. Even if for some particular reason, let's say that we didn't stress the muscles enough to really cause a change, that's what you're trying to do. Trying to have enough mechanical tension to cause an adaptation in the muscle cells. That's what strength training and hypertrophy training is about. Let's say for some reason we didn't cause any of that. Well, we're still burning calories and we're still going to be burning up some glucose. So at the very least, we're going to be able to shuttle some glucose and some sugars into the muscles that are trained for the day, which today is kind of our shoulders.
Yep.
And for Kenny, shoulders and penis. He works his penis a lot before he comes here every day.
I do fluff it
before
up
he
a little
comes
bit.
here every day.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Chris Bell.
Lighting going on here.
Hey, get into the lights.
I only have lights, muscles on the lights.
You'll lose 10 pounds, but the camera adds 10 back. Why are you standing like that? You've got a shit? I don't know. Oh, so you have a drink, and I didn't see how to. I was like, what? I was like, what's wrong with like you break your ribs or something?
This is a Wyatt Films moment.
Hey, what is this?
Oh, that's insulin.
Part of the workout?
Yeah.
Try a shot. It's on us. It's on the
I gotta
house.
put that on the fridge. It's probably fucked.
Whoops, I took the insulin instead of the mind bullet.
Oops. Gotta eat some carbs now. I don't know what I'm doing.
So kind of to wrap some of this up, even for a really well-trained bodybuilder, even from somebody or a well-trained powerlifter, it's really difficult to have 4 training sessions per week that are really dialed in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you kind of say that? I mean, even if, I guess like Rhino probably does a good job of that, but Rhino's like in his 50s and he learned these lessons over a long period of time.
Yeah.
But so much of it is about rehydrating, refueling your body, giving it the nutrition that it needs. It seems to be, for me, I've been lifting for a long time and I get it right. I would say I'm like maybe 70%. I'm able to get it right about 70% of the time, because something usually happens with my sleep, or something happens in training where I slightly overdid it, or something happens where I underdid it, or something happens where I tweak something,
Yep.
It seems like every other week or every other month, there's always just like a little something that kind of throws things off a little bit. But I'm definitely able to get 2 or 3 really awesome training sessions in every week.
Yeah.
And I think no matter whether you're trying to go full blast all the time or whether you're trying to have an approach where you train more frequently, I think the truth ends up being that you're gonna be able to muster up 2 or 3 monster sessions a week.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, it's kind of difficult to do any more than that.
Yeah, I think Stan, when I was talking to Stan as well, he's still making sure he has fun too, though. Like, I asked him about why he deadlifts, and he said with what he's doing, there's no real, for bodybuilding, he feels deadlift doesn't really do anything for your back. It just grows your glutes, at least for him. But he keeps it in there just because he enjoys it. So he'll do like 3 hypertrophy sessions and then maybe just a day dedicated to deadlifts and deadlift accessories. And he's still jacked. So I think incorporating things that you like are very important, even if they might not benefit your goal for that time.
I think it's huge. I think that's the key to dieting too. Like, you need food that tastes good.
Right.
I know for me, every meal I have tastes pretty damn good. I might mess up a meal here or there or have something that's too dry or too lean or something like that, but for the most part, it's pretty damn good. And when it comes to strength training, you should be having fun with it.
Yeah.
If you really love bench pressing, you're obsessed with it, or deadlifting or squatting, fucking have at it. Go for it.
That's one thing I've learned with this and sports is it all comes down to you got to enjoy it, because incorporate some things you love doing, or else you're gonna fall. You're just going to lose interest. So.
I don't know if Rhino did it when you were training with him, but I know that Stan famously did 10 sets of 10 2 times per day with Flex Wheeler to get his pro card.
Yep.
So that's just a ridiculous amount of work, German volume training by morning, German volume training by night, and just eating a lot in between. But Flex Wheeler said he'd never seen anything like it before, because all Rhino said after every set was, "I love this shit."
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he do that when you were training? Did he say that when he was training with you?
He's a psychopath. He was loving. He killed himself.
He starts out kind of slow, and then he turns into a fucking psychopath, and you're like,
yeah, he gets more
I need to
energy
probably
as
leave.
the workout goes on. But like the last exercise, energy was peaking. So. Yeah, he's different, but
he's scary. No stims, no pre-workout.
Yeah.
No music.
Just a little bit of Cialis.
Just the Rhino.
Yeah.
Take us on out of here, Kenny.
All right, that's enough for Anabolic Activities today, episode
412.
412. We talked about training. What did we say? Minimal effective dose of training, basically, like Bohr said. But yeah, drop a comment, leave a like, let us know what you think.
These guys like that they both have boners. Look at them.
Yeah.
It's Kenny's new look. This new look.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he went from shirts that are way too big that don't fit to shirts that are way too tight that don't fit.
No. I got 3 comments on the last episode about body dysmorphia, and people said, "Wow, it's really great to see Kenny in clothes that fit. You look a lot more jacked." So I tried to lean into that today on today's episodes. But when I go back to work, I'm wearing a 5X tee and baggy pants. So
you're gonna basically just placate to the fans. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you get this at Baby Lulu?
Yeah, I did.
Honestly, I like it.
This is
well, the best thing
I
is,
like it so much.
this is an XL.
the best thing is, it's probably like 2. Oh, it's an XL.
The only
I
reason I'm
think.
making fun
No,
of
I
it
think it's a
is
2X. This is a 2X.
Yeah, you're so big, I wouldn't surprise
This
me.
is a 2X. But yeah, drop a comment, leave a like, let us know what you think, and yeah, that's it.